Welcome to the Red V TV Instant Fan Reaction, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2020 season, as we reflect on St Helens' 48 points to 6 victory over Wakefield Trinity this evening. Turn your subtitles on, everyone, because me and Peter are joined by Kevin Widong.
Still got my head up, don't worry.
How are we, Peter?
Very well. A little bit perturbed and annoyed that after being as seen on TV last week and had all those bits of paper to celebrate the tries, the boys were garbage last week, and then today they're absolutely fantastic. I suppose I shouldn't have put all my eggs in that particular basket and assumed they were going to run away with it. Although I didn't predict a 62-point win, that's fair. But but you know, listen, it just shows you what sport can be like if your head's not quite there and you've got a kind of an attitude of the game's already won before you step onto the grass. And that was the complete opposite tonight. So all good. Saints top of the league, romping it. Even Scotland are winning at football. If 2020, has anything stranger to give than that, then I can't wait to see it, because that's the strangest thing of all. We're achieving competency and not being rubbish. And as a Scotsman, it's been a while since we've been able to say that.
Well, sorry, I do have to say, I said 62 points last week, and there was a little birdie in Regan Grace's head tonight when Insigne intercepted that ball, and he's thinking, that lad on Red V said we'd win by 48 tonight. I'm just going to let him go.
Yeah, he just jogged back, didn't he, Dave? You're quite right. He just jogged.
Team selection this evening was Josh Sim a little bit unlucky to be left out, or did Christian Wolf feel a bit guilty about leaving Jack Wellesby on the bench last week?
Well, we don't know if Josh Sim got a knock or has he just been rested. It might be a little bit of getting Jack Wellesby a bit of game time as well, after pretty much getting him ready and then giving him the week off last week. But I think that selection, and it's no slight on Josh Sim, but Jack Wellesby's taking his chance there. I thought he was absolutely magnificent tonight. Potential man of the match. I know Sky have given it to Tommy because he scored his hat-trick and was set up Nagama, did all the Tommy makers and things of running it in and getting us out of our own 20. But I thought Wellesby was absolutely tremendous today.
Absolutely, I completely agree, and I think it probably just with Josh Sim, in the same way that Wolf hasn't overplayed or overpushed Lewis Dodd, despite the clamour for him to get involved. I think he's got to treat these guys not with kid gloves, but not overexpose them. And perhaps if Sim had played tonight and had a poor game, people might say, "Oh, he's not as good as we thought." And if Dodd had played the whole game and maybe not had such a good impact, people might say, "He's not ready." So it's just about managing these guys, not throwing them in too much. And the thing is as well, we don't need to rotate too much at the moment. We've got a championship to win here. There's a couple of games coming up. Obviously Salford in between Leeds and Wigan, and then Hull in November in between Catalan away and Warrington at home, the last game. Those are the games where you can just give these guys, a free run at it. But Josh Sim's played well. It's probably just to rest him. And when you get Jack Wellesby to come in, playing as well as he did, which is he's probably good that he got another shot at centre against Castleford back in March, where he was turned inside out and looked like a little boy lost almost at times, without being too disrespectful to him. But it was good that he was get a good 80 minutes at centre and feel better about playing in that position, because as Kev says, he was superb. But then again, so was everyone.
I think the biggest thing for me this evening was noticing how much the criticism that the players probably saw last week has hurt them and made them come out this evening and put in that performance first half, because that was probably the most intense, ferocious 40 minutes that I've seen Saints have in an awful long time.
I think it was as close to perfect as you can possibly get, even though there's a few people, a good friend of mine, Neil Connolly, and I think he did it tongue-in-cheek, talking about Coote's goal kicking. But if that's your only complaint, then there isn't really a complaint. I think it was tongue-in-cheek. 30-0, and, everything was right. The attitude was right. Totally changed from last week. The intensity, the defence, the line speed, everything, the sharpness, the zest in attack as well. Boring Saints under Christian Wolf? I don't think so. We're not boring if you get the goal forward, and that's what you need. And we had it in spades tonight. The first half was superb, and it was always going to be, I think, a little bit after the Lord Mayor's show into the second half, because Wakefield were always going to get a kick up the backside from Chris Chester. And to be fair to them, they hung in. Their try was maybe a little bit fortunate, but the boy finished it well. And they never gave up, as Wakefield sides don't do. But 48-6 at full time, you can't really, complain about that. And it's a good way to kind of come back from a disappointing effort all round last week.
Yeah. I noticed, obviously, them kicks for Coote in the first half. They were touchline conversions, but his leg strength did seem to be a little bit off this evening. Don't know if there's anything in that, but Lachlan Coote is obviously so reliable with the boot. When he does have or miss a couple, you tend to notice it.
Yeah, that's true. That's it. I'm not going to read too much into it. Obviously, if he needs to miss a week, we've got the players who can slide into full-back, like Jack Wellsby could do a job there. It's probably his long-term position, isn't it? The one thing I'd hate to kind of bring us down a little peg is, listen, you can only play what's in front of you, but I don't think Wakefield were ever going to match the level of performance they put in last week. So the opposition weren't hot, but everything that Peter said, line speed, tackling, determination, and like you said, Dave, as well, the stinging criticism that players will have got, both from internally and externally. Listen, they put on a show there, and in the first half, I was interested to see, because I did write the team down before we did the preview show. I didn't show it on there, and I put, in fact, it's still actually here, and I'd put Doddin at halfback and give Lomax a bit of a break. And I just thought that we might put a couple of people in who have got an opportunity, a chance to kind of go out there and shine and aren't tainted by that performance last week. And watching Fage, who isn't one of them players, kind of his kicking game I thought it was tremendous. It looked dangerous, especially in the first half. So I'm quite glad. While I wanted to see Dog get more game time, I'm quite glad that Christian Wolf stuck with kind of the core of the team, but also he had a bigger bench this week as well to rotate his props.
Mm-hmm. I think that was important, but also it was noticeable for me on the last tackle options that the kicking was shared around. It wasn't just Coote with a big bomb. Theo was getting the ball. Lomax was getting the ball. Lewis Dodd, when he came on, had a nice kick back inside as well towards Johnny that Johnny almost got on the end off to score a try. So I think sharing it around is important, because then when it comes to the last tackle, your opponent doesn't know who's going to get the pass, whether it's going to go to Coote or it's going to go to Johnny, going to Theo, or maybe even Robes. So it's important to keep them guessing as well, because if they know it's going to one guy, then they can just rush out the line and go to him. But if they do that and then it goes along the line maybe to Lomax, or Fage puts a kick in, then that increases the dangers that you can pose to the opposition. So that I think that was important as well.
Yeah.
The finishing this evening, especially first half, absolutely clinical, really. We touched on Jack Wellsby a little bit earlier. Saints' first try this evening, that was probably my favourite, because he had 5 men dragging him into touch, and he gets an absolute wonder ball out to send James Roby in for his first. He's got it, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Jack Wellsby has. People forget that he's still only a young lad. I mean, he's starting to get quite a good few appearances under his belt for us. But again, I suppose it's the theory behind Lewis Dodd coming on and starting his game time at 9. It's about getting him minutes on the pitch, and I think I've said in the past, Wellesby has played out on the wing, he's played centre, he's played a bit of half-back, he's played full-back. This will all be good for him. He'll learn so much more about the game by playing in all these positions, understanding these positions. I mean, I think of someone who's done the same, Johnny Lomax. He's played out on the wing when he was younger. He's played in the centres. He's played full-back, and he's played 6. If he has half the career that Johnny Lomax has, he'll have done all right for Saints, won't he?
I think
absolutely, and I think, as you say, it's improved his skill set as well. And as you say, I think it's a testament to Jack Wells, but he's playing so well, having not had a nailed-down position. And the thing about Lewis Dodd, a lot of people the other week when he came on at 9, and people saying, "What's he doing? Get him at half-back, give him at half-back." And I like the fact that he's put him in at 9 because he's got to test his physicality to see if he's ready for the physicality of Super League. They're easy enough tonight putting him on at 7 and giving him an armchair ride the last 20 minutes. But he started him at 9, so he's on the ball more, involved more, and having to tackle more. So there's no point on waiting 4 or 5 games, playing him at 7, and he's dominating, kicking, and then first time someone runs at him, he's like a wet bit of paper, and it just a guy goes right through him, or he's getting smashed back in the tackle. So this is, I think, the right way to introduce him, getting him on the ball, but also seeing how he can handle the physical side of the game.
Yeah, he looks well built as well. He doesn't look like some of the 17, 18-year-olds coming to start with, look a little bit scrawny. He looks developed for a halfback. On Jack Wellesby then, I think we probably touched on it either in the preview or last week, where we've said, is it basically a shootout between Wellesby and Josh Sim for the centre spot going towards the end of the season? Has Jack Wellesby potentially just moved himself ahead in that race for that berth at this moment in time?
Probably because he has just a little bit more experience. Obviously, Josh Sim's an out-and-out centre, as we've discussed. But I think Jack has the extra experience, the extra skill set. And I think that'll come in useful because, as we've seen in other games, if there's any injuries, and you've got Jack playing in centre, but maybe one of the wingers goes down, or Cootie or gets an injury, or Johnny gets a knock, he can move in there. And then you can put like James Bentley into centre, for example. You've got that adaptability with him as well, which makes him a very, very useful guy to have in the 17. Josh Sim, we know, won't let us down. He's still a little bit green, but he's had a few games. He's had some experiences and played well. But I think you're right, Dave. At the moment, I suspect that Jack Wellesby will get the nod for the rest of the season. Although, Josh will get his chance in a couple of games, I think, as will a lot of guys in the next few weeks.
Kev?
I don't necessarily think at this part of the season it's one moving ahead of the other. I think, as Peter said earlier, about getting lads game time and people kind of just getting minutes. Not necessarily every game, but managing game time season, so when he does start getting to the end of the season, he's making mistakes. We don't want to see that. We don't. So I don't necessarily think it's about one moving ahead of the other. I think it's about them both. But as Peter says, Josh Sim will get another in the centres. Probably 3 weeks when we've started getting like 3 games in 7 days.
Okay. I'm not sure what's happening with the internet connection because I can't see either of you at this moment in time. So while the internet connection is struggling, I'm going to try and put up some tweets. Can you both still hear me?
Here he's back. There he is.
Is he back?
I'm back. I don't know what happened.
Back, I think so. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to ask Peter a question, so I'm going to go ahead and you can answer it as well for the change, Dave.
Well, it's a good job because I don't know whether it would have been recorded.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask Peter, the on-field ref, is it time to get rid of it? I tweeted out from my personal account that we should stop making refs guess. I think we should go to a more rugby union-based thing where is it a try, yes or no? Or is there any reason I cannot award a try? Or completely do away with it, and not have anything, just turn around to the video ref and go, all on you now. It's your choice. Is that the correct way to go?
Well, I think, as you know, and this might alienate half your viewers here, obviously, being Scotsman, I enjoy my rugby union as well. And I think what you've said there, Kev, thanks, Dave, is correct. Putting it up as a try, then the onus is on the video referee to find compelling evidence to rule it out. Because let's be honest, as much as you don't want to, ruin Lewis Dodd's night with his first try and getting off the nude run, which would be a great thing for him at this time of year, a wee bit cold, it wasn't a try. If that had gone against us and it was a close game, you'd be furious. And I think the referee's got to say, listen, I've got a try on field, but have a look to see if he got the grounding, or, as the other thing they say in union, any reason I can't award the try, but or send it up as try yes or no. I've got a try on the field, but let's have a look at the grounding. I'm not sure. And then in union, they seem to, the video, or the TMO as they call it in union, and the referee are mic'd up and communicate to each other so that they're talking about it and almost coming to an agreement, and the touch judge is potentially involved as well. And I think it's maybe time to have a look at that, because if that had been last week and we had got that try and it was, you're talking a 4-point ball game, Wakefield would rightly be absolutely fizzing, and the neutrals watching would have been cheated out of an outcome. So I think it is time to have a look at that, definitely.
I think it's been something that's been needed for years. You talk about decisions like that in big games. Warrington playoff game comes to mind from a couple of years ago. I think Ben Thaler was the referee that day.
Yeah,
he sent them up as no tries. Listen, they've then got, as you say, find compelling evidence to overturn the on-field decision. Mm-hmm. Ben Thaler might turn around at that decision and say, I didn't guess, but you're putting him in on almost impossible situation to then, you've got to make a decision. You could turn around and say, listen, I really think that's a try. Is there any reason why I can't award it? And I think that there's probably better questions out there, and people will stick them in the comments. But I think that them so far are the best I can think of. I just think it could change.
Yeah.
My only observation from that tonight is, do the commentary team have the sound of the video referee in their ears? Because they were saying it was no try. And then when they were looking at it, they started going, oh, well, it's going to get given. Yeah, it's going to get given. But they were saying that while we were looking at every picture of the ball still being held up. Which was an odd one, because I was still thinking that it's going to go up as no try, because that ball never hit the ground.
Yeah, it didn't hit the ground at any stage for me. And I understand why years ago they changed it so the referee had to make a decision, because too often I think referees were just going to the video referee and they weren't sure. I remember a game, I'm positive, I can't remember what year it was maybe about 5-6 years ago or something like that. It was Salford against Wigan. Phil Bentham was the ref, and they must have gone to the video referee 10 or 11 times for tries. And it didn't give it, obviously at that time you didn't have to give a decision, either try or no try. But it was the game, it was after 10 o'clock, I think, the game finished. And it was just like, come on, for goodness sake, make a decision. And I think incidents like that and games like that forced them to say, right, you've got to give an on-field decision, and then video referee will either confirm or overturn. But we've got to the stage now where almost whatever decision is given on field, unless it's glaringly obvious, even if like tonight's example, where we think that's probably not a try, but it's gone up as a try, he's going to give it. It's maybe time to, I think, review it again and, as Kev suggests, alter the wording and how it's sent up.
Okay, let me see if we can get some tweets working.
If not, can you just read them out and we'll nod or shake our head?
It's looking that way. As usual, technology fails. It worked 5 minutes ago.
Go on then, read them out, Dave.
Okay, so we have got tweets from Gareth Fishwick. It's like we were just trying to score down the left for the first 25 minutes, but every time we went right, we broke them. Changed once, Walmsley came back on, and Dave got the score for once right, 48 points, so he avoided having to wear a Wigan shirt. Yeah,
well, you didn't say a 48-point victory, like a margin. You didn't say we'd score 48, you said a margin of.
I say that, I got onto that early on, and that's why we let one in. Matt says, great performance, Dodd needs to be in the halves. Lee isn't a prop in a month for Sundays. Knowles needs more credit. I'll go with
I thought Morgan Knowles went. I think Morgan Knowles went really well tonight, but again, the Lees ones, he is a prop. He's not got the hands to be a second row. He is a prop. Again, I'll go back to the thing of him having his intestines on an operating table just over a year ago. The lad has got to be allowed to get back from that. Has got to allowed to be given the time. He's stepping up to be a starting prop at the moment, which is different to coming on after 20, 25 minutes. Give the lad time, get off his back.
Yeah, and I think as well we've got to look at the fact that he's still a young guy. He's perhaps been a victim of his success because when he came through, everyone was giving him high praise and saying how well he was doing, and he was, and he's still running in hard. He's still, giving absolutely everything he's got. But Kev's absolutely right. We can't expect miracles, and perhaps because he's not playing in some people's eyes as well as he was a year ago. He's been a victim of how good he was at the start. But he's a young guy, and props I don't think mature until they're a little bit older anyway. You look at Jammer; he's still going. How good was Big Al at Matty Lees' age? You've got to remember that as well. Big Al's got better as he's hit 29, 30. So we've yet to see the best of Matty Lees, and I think just get behind him, stick with him. He'll absolutely come good.
Jack Leavesley, a good professional performance, leaving room for improvement. Not a bad prediction from Dave. Thank you. Sean Hennon thinks it shows what we're like with a break. It doesn't help chalk and cheese them last two performances. The Impossible Girl says, we played with a different attitude and it paid off. Some bloody good rugby, especially in that first half. DSL preview, understatement of the century, saying it was better than last week.
Yep, definitely.
Well, the point I want to make about that, if I could just interject briefly, a lot of people thought, we'd definitely get a reaction after playing them so badly against them last week and being lucky to win. But I point you back to the Hull KR, not quite double-header, but fairly close together, where the first game is the away game. We won, but we struggled and it wasn't pretty. And we thought, we'll get them back at home and we'll right the wrongs. And if anything, we were even luckier to win on that occasion. So there was no guarantee that tonight was going to be a walk in the park, as it turned out to be. So I suppose we've got to give the guys credit that they got it absolutely bang on this time.
Yep.
Charlton Saints with the hashtag bounce back ability. Wayne Hasselden says we were ruthless, especially first half. Walmsley making some Roby, Bentley, Wellesby all superb. The Saints last week was good for us. We've totally changed it around, barring interception, and that was a fantastic performance. Outstanding in all departments. Chris Harvey, last week was tough. We've really turned it round. The lads stepped up and we played enjoyable rugby. Up the champs. And Paul Caswell, well-balanced team. It knows you down the middle. Better side than Wakey. Better sides than Wakefield may have struggled against us today. George Duffy says the line's on point. And last of all, the excitable toddler himself, Kev Cunningham, can't stay away, says we were brilliant. First half and the last 15. Howells Walmsley not a man of the match contender on our league. Why does anybody look at our league for man of the match polls anyway? We need to go left more and get Grace more tries because Kev's got him up down for top try scorer.
Because Kev's got a bet on it.
Yeah.
Mrs. Cunningham, if Grace is top try scorer, your man's got £630 that he'll be able to spend on you. Zeb, Roby.
Dave, what happened to the brotherhood there, Dave? Come on, you've dubbed him in an absolute cracker there.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, man.
It'll be. I'm surprised WhatsApp will be absolutely pinging when he's seen this now.
Your phone will be red hot, Dave. He's going to have a bet with you. Never mind wearing a Wigan shirt. He want you wearing a Liverpool shirt, Dave. Never mind a Wigan
I thought he was having a night off anyway.
That's £630 just before Christmas, Mrs. Cunningham. Come on, the Regan. And I think that is where we will leave it this evening. Thanks, Peter, for joining us in sunny Scotland. And I think that's what was...
My pleasure. Thanks for having us, guys. Good to see you again.
That string and paper cup's gone a long way this evening.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see you guys. Thanks again for having me.
Cheers.
Absolute
Kev,
pleasure.
We'll catch you next week for the preview show. They're going to start coming thick and fast. And that is it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe and share this all over Facebook with the word £630. Catch you later.